Sup, this is David. So the most common error of a smart coach is to optimize something that should not exist. And I just replaced the word engineer with coach here. And this is Elon, right? So a lot of times, I believe in our business, we are making the wrong optimizations. We are optimizing for something that may be deleted or just completely optimizing for something that shouldn't be necessary. So today I'm going to be talking about three wrong optimizations for our business. And number one is maybe the idea of going viral. Okay. And number two is doing sales calls. And I talk about this a lot, right? Number three is a business model that you hate. So our entire business lays on the foundations of the model, and if we choose the wrong model, then we're building on the wrong foundation. So we're going to be diving into three of these today. So first, let's talk about going viral. Okay, how I believe this is making wrong optimizations. So the thing is, like, when you try to trick the algorithm, or when you try to get all these empty views, you're gonna notice 99.99% of them, they're not your target clients, and they will never buy, dude. So on the outside, it might feel good. We're getting a bunch of views and likes and stuff, but on the inside, it's we're not making any sales. We're not getting any clients, right? So I know so many people who have maybe millions of followers, but they're so broke because they targeted the wrong people. They target it for views and not necessarily clients or buyers, right? So we are optimizing. When we're trying to optimize for these views and likes, it's a wrong optimization that we're making, and that can maybe even be destructive for our business rather than helping it, right? So we shouldn't be chasing after views and likes. Like the saying goes, likes and cash. We want to aim for quality views, right? Have the view count and have the right person view your stuff instead of chasing after empty views, right? So we all know Mr. Beast, and we all know TikTok, and we shouldn't be using a Mr. Beast strategy for our coaching consulting business, because it's not the same business model, dude. We're optimizing for a completely different thing, okay? So I'll give you an example here to maybe paint a clearer picture for you. Is back in the day we have TV commercials, right? And then let's say you have a TV commercial, and you have a business that you want to promote during one of these TV shows, right? But if you're targeting the wrong crowd, you're not going to make any sales. So an example is if let's say, for example, you're advertising during a kids show, but you are promoting your course for back pain or something, you're promoting an adult course during a kids show. So it's kind of the equivalent of trying to go viral and get all these views and likes, when that's not the point of our business. The point of our business is to get clients and to help our clients, right? So it's not the same thing, yo. It's a completely different strategy, right? So it's the equivalent of that TV commercial, the TV show example. So we're optimizing for the wrong part, okay? Okay, number two, talk about this a bunch, but I believe sales calls can be optimizing for a wrong part. And yes, it depends on your situation, depends on your business and your personality, but sales calls, it can work in some businesses, not all. Okay, and not most, I want to say. Okay, so when you have an entire the whole sales process, right? You have setters, you have closers, you have show up rates, you have calendar systems, you have a pipeline. But the thing is, you know those people where they hit you up in the freaking DMs, cold DMs or cold emails, and saying hey, I can help you with your show up rate. I can help book your calendar, right? To me, first and foremost, that sounds horrible. I would not want an entire day just to do a bunch of sales. I would hate that. It would be a nightmare to me. But secondly, you got to ask yourself, is this part even necessary? What happens if we just remove this entire part? then we don't need to optimize for setters. We don't need to optimize for closers or show up rates and booking rates, right? So an example I like to give is boat rowers. So say you have a boat, right? You have a boat with a bunch of and you're trying to hire rowers for your boat. Okay, that's the equivalent of having a sales team and hiring salespeople. Okay, so you're hiring a bunch of these people. Okay, and I know this is an ugly drawing, but this is a boat. Okay, this is a boat here, and these are our people. And so you're hiring all these rowers, but then the thing is, we now have technology. Okay, we now have technology. And so instead of hiring, having all these boat rowers on your boat, what if we just attached an engine instead, right? So we are optimizing for this when we should be optimizing, let's get to the destination, dude. You know what I mean? That's what we should be optimizing for. So it's a means to an end, right? It's a means to an end. It's a often unnecessary middle process. And you just get rid of the entire thing, let marketing handle the rest. And this has to be coupled with good marketing, by the way. You can't just get rid of your sales calls and expect to make sales. And then, yeah, it's a middle process, right? It may be, with good marketing, an unnecessary process that you can get rid of entirely. So we're optimizing for the wrong part, right? So I'll give you another example, right? So let's say you went to your house. Okay, you went to your house, and then you realize that you forgot your key. Oh shit, I forgot my key. Now I'm locked out of my house. What do I do? And then so you try to pick the lock with all these tools and everything, and then you go at it for 30 minutes. You can't freaking pick the lock. So you call your locksmith, and then it usually takes an outsider to notice this, but then your brother comes along, and then he comes to the house and he's like, hey David, have you checked if the door is open? You know what I mean? And then you check if the door is open, and it's the door was open the entire freaking time, right? The door is freaking open the entire freaking time, but then we're trying to pick this lock that was it was a problem that was unnecessary, right? The entire sales, call funnel thing. A lot of times it's it's a problem that is oftentimes unnecessary. Again, you got to couple this with good marketing, but it's you have to check if it's open first, right? So oftentimes it's you have to check if they want to buy first. If they're even interested in the freaking program, right? Because the door could be wide open this entire time, and we're just working on a problem that should not exist. Okay, so that's another example there. So we have to think like smart engineers. So instead of thinking business people or management, because typical business people, they try to throw humans onto the problem. Right? It's not always about labor, dude. It's not just hey, let's hire a new sales manager. The sales aren't doing well. It's about being an engineer and operating from first principles and seeing where the problem actually is. Where's the actual leak, right? So we have to think like engineers, think like smart engineers. So I'll give you an example of this, right? So there was a long time ago, when people were trying to create the first flying machine, right? The first flying object, right? And so what they used to do was they try to make these powerful engines and try to make the engines as powerful and as strong as they possibly could, right? But then one team came along and they were like, no, let's not obsess about the engine. Let's actually focus on the wings, and this is an airplane, I promise, the ugliest airplane in the world, but they focused on the wings and the aerodynamics, right? Before we attach anything to it, let's make it fly first, right? Let's make it fly first. And we all know the story of the Wright brothers, right? And that's how they got things to fly, because they worked on the aerodynamics first, right? Because everybody else was freaking engine focused. So maybe that's what we're doing today, is we're engine focused instead of instead of simplifying, instead of like asking better questions, asking the right questions, and like again, like thinking like smart engineers, right? So number 3 is the wrong business model. Okay, maybe we are optimizing, again, making wrongful optimizations for an entire business model. Have you even thought about that? Maybe our entire business is built on quicksand, and then we're like trying to make the building better when we should be working on the foundations, right? And maybe oftentimes it's like you have to construct a new building, right? And lay down like proper foundations, right? So a business that you hate is like optimizing for the wrong thing. Okay, maybe it's the business model that is that we're optimizing for, and again, we can use a completely new model. So you know how like they tell us about LTV, but I believe there's something even more important than LTV, right? Something even more fundamental than LTV, and I just like to call it LBOE. Like, I don't know if there's such a word exists, but I like to call it lifetime business owner existence. Okay, lifetime business owner existence. Excuse me. Because it's like LTV doesn't exist without the freaking business owner, right? So it's even more fundamental than LTV. And like I like to call it the observable LTV. You know how we have like the observable universe, and we can only see as far as the universe can go? Well, same thing with LTV. We can only see as far as the business has existed. So if like the business has only existed for 1 year, LTV can only be 1 year, right? So I call it the observable LTV, observable LBOE, right? So the business owner existence is way more fundamental and important, even more so than LTV. So we have to optimize for this, because if we're like so damn burnt out and like it's not sustainable, if we're working freaking like 12, 13-hour days, like 80, 100-hour weeks, and we get so burnt out that the business doesn't exist after like 2 years, it's like LTV doesn't even matter, dude, right? LTV doesn't even matter. So we have to work on the sustainable side, right? And making things, injecting some fun into the business, making it playful, right? Making it purposeful, filled with meaning. That's what we got to work on, right? So we focus on the long term, okay? Focus on the long term, and something that just feels, good with the soul. It's like fulfilling and it's fun, and you can inject fun into your business, man. You can kind of do this. Maybe I'll give you some examples of it. Like maybe it's hiring a good team. Maybe it's like, working with friends, right? It's like my example is like I'm hiring a bunch of my friends so that we can just like have fun. Of course, you got to get shit done, right? So the paradigm is like you have to have fun, but you have to get shit done at the same time, right? So you have to attach those together, and one cannot be without the other. Okay, so that's kind of like the paradigm. So that's optimizing properly. Okay, optimizing for LBOE, not just LTV, right? So we have to oftentimes delete parts that are often unnecessary or unneeded, or optimize for the right parts and not for like some other strategy, like the going viral strategy that I talked about, right? So the moral of the story is this: we talk to our target audience, and not just the whole world, because 99.9% of the world, they're not going to buy our stuff. And I remember a marketer, he put it a good way. He was like, I hate it when I go viral, because that's when I get the most hate comments in the comment section. That's when I get the most broke people, and I barely make any money when I go viral, you know what I mean? But then on the other spectrum, it's like his least viewed videos often get the most clients. It's a very, it's a paradox, right? So talk to your target audience and speak to that person only. Okay, that way, you're not really going viral, but it's okay. It's okay because we are talking to our specific audience, and the more we like address their problem and we provide great solutions for them, then the more trust builds and the more they want to work with us. And secondly, embrace marketing, dude. Embrace marketing. Okay, because when we are so damn sales heavy, not only is it a single point of failure, but again, it leads to the LBOE, right? Like leads to burnout when you got constantly, either you do the sales calls yourself or you got to freaking constantly feed the sales team leads. Have you ever thought about that? It's like when you hire like a sales team, it's almost like they become your master, right? They become your master because you got to constantly feed them good leads, or like they complain and they whine. It's like, who's the boss here? You know what I mean? So embrace marketing. You're like building trust and scale when you embrace good marketing. Okay. And so what marketing tends to be is just demonstration. Like good demonstration is good marketing. Like demonstration of your products or your services, that's marketing in a nutshell right there. Right? So like make videos, make content that demonstrates your expertise, that can help your ideal client and you talking to them and them only, right? And I do have a video on demonstration. You can go to that video right here or right here, wherever it is. So you can go ahead and watch that. And lastly, like embrace fun. Embrace fun and fulfillment. Inject some fun. Have like a purpose, like have like a chief and definite aim for your business, and how maybe it's a number of people you want to help, right? Or like maybe it's hiring a bunch of your friends and like having fun together, but again, you got to get shit done, right? So maybe it's doing that, right? And that, I believe, comes with the right business model. It comes with the right business model, and I believe the old sales call funnel model way, there's a better way now. Okay, that was the old way. The new way, and this is what I reimagined. I took like the past year and a half of my life to reimagine like this new coaching business model from the ground up. That focuses on freedom, profitability, and just having purpose and being playful, injecting some fun. And I just like to call it freedom world building, right? Freedom world building model. And I also included many like fun elements into it. So I like to call it like open world marketing. So like in like video games, they call it open world. Well, I kind of saw that with marketing as well, right? I kind of like have like this open world marketing model where it's like not a pushy kind of selling, very sales heavy, very salesy model, but it's more of a pulling. You're magnetically attracting people into your world so that they can work with you. So if you want to access that model and the strategies we talk about with freedom world building, you can comment with the word coaching strategy and I'll send the link to you. It's a free community, right? It's completely free. And it also includes a free course and many resources as well. And so if you are an established coach, again, because my whole thing is not going viral, but it's speaking to you because you are my target audience and I want to provide a lot of value to you. But if you are an established online coach, then maybe you can subscribe for more content like this on helping you remove the sales calls and establish a marketing base so that you have not only LTV, but you have LBOE, and you have fun and fulfillment doing it in this new way, this new model. So subscribe for more content like that. Also leave this video a like, and you can also watch this video right here for more marketing for your coaching business. And that's it for me, and I'll talk to you soon.